Hello and welcome back. I am pretty happy with getting two done here. It's hard to squeeze in. I know it's weird how time seems to fly, but anyway, we're gonna do the little guys this time, and I love this quote. I just saw it, I think, the other day, but I've seen it before too. It says, no matter how many mistakes you make or how slow you progress, you are still way ahead of everyone who isn't trying. And sometimes that doesn't necessarily it doesn't necessarily make us feel better, but at the same time, for those that have quit or those that have never tried, they can't say a thing, can they? And there's always the naysayers, those people we have in our lives where they will belittle you or denigrate you or tell you all the mistakes that you've made and all the things that you've tried in your life and it hasn't worked out. And they love to be the naysayer. Some people, what's the old saying? They're so negative that they walk in a dark room and they develop all by themselves. And I know people like that. Sadly, I have relatives that are like that. And it is what it is, you know. But the beauty is that if you know in your mind and you know in your heart that you're working towards a goal, eventually you'll get there. And the beauty is that those that were naysayers, you don't even have to say a thing; they'll be able to see it. And when you get there, it's kind of sweet victory, even though it's really not. It'd be nice to have supportive people along the way, but it doesn't really matter. The point is that at least you're making an effort and you're trying and you're shooting for something. So, with that being said, let's get right to the little guys. And decent amount. I mean, it's been a little slimmer pickings lately than before. But hopefully, with this move in the market, if it continues down, we can catch some of the bear stuff that may or may not happen here in the next few months. So we'll see. First one here, AEO, American Eagle Outfitters. It's quite a ways away from the entry point, but you can see here it's just been kind of chopping around the last few months. And now we've got some bearish signs. Today's candle, very, very bearish. So it looks like we've got some indications with the 200-day moving average has been trying to get above, and it's failed the last three times. You know, it did for a few days there, but it's been really struggling getting past it, and it's turned over. The 200-day is finally turning downward. It's moving lower, which is a bearish sign. Indicators are looking bearish, so I like the looks of this. We're so far ahead of it, kind of. Depends on what happens tomorrow. It could tank. But we're far enough ahead of it, we should be able to catch it without missing it. So Ally, this is GMAC Capital Trust. Now, this has not been around that long, which is weird, but at the same time, it's probably a spinoff. And they have just been tanking the whole time pretty much. You know, they opened up around 24 and kind of danced around it, and then boom, sold off a year and a half ago, and it's just been a downward spiral basically, and it's gotten worse. And you can see if we zoom way in here, we're right near the lows, the all-time lows. So the reality is that if it breaks that, the only way to get an estimation is to go off the previous range, which is about a buck's worth. So if it continues lower and breaks this 1832 area, or 1828, then it looks like there may be about a buck of potential there. So AMAT, this one's already broken. We got a nice, beautiful textbook double top. Big break with big volume. This is about as textbook as it gets. We get a little further out with a line chart. You can see it is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And the indicators are all lined up. Look at that. I just noticed this, the 200-day and the 50-day right there. So this is beautiful. It's one of my favorites I've seen for a long time. It's one of the prettiest double tops I've seen in a long time. So the only concern I have with this one is that, you know, we were 1923 just 5 or 6 days ago, and it has dropped quite a bit in the last few days. But at the same time, I think with the beauty of the pattern and the acceleration in the volume today, we've got a good chance of it continuing. Gap, another one. A lot of retailers have been beat up, and the funny thing is several of them actually have a little bit of a bullish look, partly because they've been so beat up. You see the bullish engulfing pattern on Monday, but then today we drop back off. This one's a little bit beyond the entry point for right now, so we'll see what happens. And there's the interesting part is a lot of the retailers have a nice bounce going over the last few days or a week. So the gap's a little, you know, I'm a little skittish on it. Let's just say this. The difference between AMAT and the gap, I'd pick AMAT all day long for a trade. Halliburton, again, oil got crushed today. Again, beat up even worse than it's been. Halliburton is pushing the lows here at 33.29. and getting interrupted again by these crazy dogs. But getting back to Halliburton, sorry about that. The oil getting beat up again, and it looks like it's going to continue its descent. Um, may not have a long ways to go, but at the same time, the oil companies are probably going to get beat up with it. Looks like if Halliburton breaks this 33 area, whatever is 33.10, the next stopping point is about 29. So looks like a pretty good opportunity with Halliburton if it breaks. This is what I love. Actually, we've got, it's a long-term downtrend, sideways move for several months, and it's accelerated to the downside again here a few weeks ago, and then it's going sideways, holding the support. So if it breaks that support, considering how solid it's been, then pretty solid break. I mean, it's a pretty good break when it breaks an area like this after the type of move we've had. So love the looks of that. Kohl's, as I said with retailers, the gap didn't look that bearish, but Kohl's does, or bullish, excuse me. Kohl's actually looks pretty good right here. Another one that we could have a breakout. You can see we were at 78 back, not even a year ago, and we've hit 40. We've been almost cut in half. So wouldn't be surprised to see a big bounce to the upside. And we've had that over the last few weeks. It's been getting more bullish, a little higher highs, higher lows. So a little volume coming in the last few days. So a move to the upside, which is interesting to see retailers going the opposite. But it is what it is. So there's a marathon. Another one, you can see long term, we were $40. Now we're $11. Getting just absolutely crushed. The next stopping point is about $9. But I love this. There's over $2 of potential on an $11 stock. So if this thing breaks, I don't know what is up with those numbers. Did I forget to punch? I must have forgot to punch the entry. Let's see what it is. What are we on Marathon MRO? 1063. I forgot to do that one right there. So 1063. I think that's the only one I missed. So basically right there at the support, just a few pennies below it. But I like the looks of this one. Micron, another one. You look at this, and this is Intel's competitor. They've been getting beat up. They're at $14 after 36 just not a year ago. So again, it's sitting there going sideways. Bearish trend. Looks good for the bearish side. Indicators are pretty neutralized. But if it breaks, we get the bands, the expansion of the bands. They're pinching right now. So if it breaks down, then we may get a good solid run. NVIDIA, another one. This has been bullish, actually. Very bullish lately. I mean, 20 to 33. Double top. Another beautiful double top. A break. I don't know. These lines keep jumping. It's irritating. But another beautiful double top. Nice break with solid volume. Looking for it to break this level, about 31.40. If it does, we got, what's that, about $1.50 of potential or so. So I like the looks of NVIDIA. And then the last one, Prospect Capital. Sitting in that little range right there. I'm kind of mixed on this one. We've got a longer term downtrend, but you've also got kind of a quasi rising 3 there after a bullish move, after a big bearish move. So it's very mixed, but it looks like it wants to go down from here. So again, another one of those like Kohl's. What was it? The Gap. This one in the Gap, not terribly excited about. But then we've got some other ones that look spectacular. AMAT. Kohl's might be good bullish trade. So that is it for the little guys. And just a reminder, we got Alcoa coming out Monday with earnings. So we'll kick off earnings season this next Monday. So with that, we'll shut her down, and we will see you all very soon. Bye-bye.